Good morning, friends, and welcome to Mornin Mo. My green screen is all kinds of. It's because I'm leaning. Oh no, I was gonna say it's because I'm leaning forward, but no, it happens when I'm leaning back. I was not having this problem earlier. Here, let me see if I can force it. Can I force it to so that I can fix it? Good morning, friends. Welcome to Mornin Mo, where MagicManMo doesn't know how to do anything in the morning. Here. Can we, here, a little bit, if I do a little bit of this, maybe, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, we'll see what we can get. We'll get what we can see. Oh, man, okay. There, if I put my hands up, can I get the green screen to freak out? No, okay, I think we're good. All right, perfect. Welcome back to Let's Play Night Call, a game where we play as a taxi man. I'm a taxi man. We're a taxi man trying to discover who a serial killer is. They've attacked us once before at the beginning of the game. We didn't get to see their face, although we've had a few flashbacks where our memories have tried to reveal to us who it might have been. Also, we are working with an officer of the law, Officer Bousset. She is blackmailing us to work for her, and she's given us some suspects to consider. And we've gotten quite a bit of evidence, although most of it highly hearsay and circumstantial. But I think I know who did it. I think I know who done it, unless some kind of twist happens here pretty soon. We've got some information. I open an eye. Someone flushes the toilet. It does this little thing every time we start the game up. But I think we're still on night 5. We haven't made it to night 6 yet, but night 5 should be almost over. Night 5 is just about over, so we just need to wrap up night 5, and we'll be on to night 6. But yeah, I think I know who did it. But there is some evidence that's kind of stacked up against someone else. It is kind of between two people, but it shouldn't be. For all intents and purposes, I feel like it should be Paul, but it could also be Madame Ocampo. It could be either one of those. So I've got Mr. Santa Man, and I've got Mr. Monkey Man over here that we can choose between, and we have a little bit of time left to get a fare, so I think we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go for Santa. We haven't met Santa yet. I thought about maybe turning on the radio instead for the last little bit, but we haven't met Santa yet. He's been popping up a lot, and I'm very curious to see what his story is. So the idea is we go around and pick up fares, and we try to collect information from our fares to determine who the serial killer is. Sometimes we learn nothing, sometimes we learn a little bit, and every little bit helps. All right, let's accept this. 5 kilometers, 18 euro fare. Not a very good fare, but your next passenger smells like beer. Just about what I expected. Oh man, he's really hunched up in the corner, isn't he? He wants nothing to do with me. No, it's even worse. It's like every single fiber of his Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Come on, dash away. His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. I've never been around someone that smells so atrociously like alcohol that my eyes sting. I'm parked somewhere near the Champs-Élysées. Oh, on shit. The name of the street is, his head is spinning and he does his best to hang onto the door. Impasse, it'll come back to me. Go ahead, drive. You start driving and silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover fare. You glance back at your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over, so why is he still dressed up? Is Christmas over? I thought it was December. Is it January now? Maybe it's late December. Maybe it's almost the new year. You have a nice evening? Oh, fabulous. A smile spreads across his face, and I really needed it. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. Oh, good. This is exactly what we needed. After working my ass off all year long, I like to hit my favorite pubs. I get monumentally wasted, he guffaws. Here in Paris is a bunch of bistros perfect for just such an occasion. No one talks to you, and they have white wine so dry it eats away at the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandy, pear brandy, cognac. He closes his eyes into light. And sometimes I order just one eeny-weeny beer to cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering. Okay, it's usually not one of them fancy microbrews there. He jumps. Oops, but don't tell anyone, okay? Just imagine if people found out Santa Claus thought the beer here tasted like piss. He laughs at a sparkling laugh. When he stops, it's just a throw out, non-committally. Anyway, I can't say anything more. Honestly, with all the trouble I go to, people should just leave me the heck alone. All those fair weather activists, they still want their little snot-nosed miracles to get the latest stupid toy. Oh hey, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what is it with this manure pile of a new generation? 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about it his whole life, all starry-eyed. But today's little whiners, what an eyesore. Sucking hell. They want to have it all, but they don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. It's a GSM. Those things cost a whole month's wages. How can you possibly make them happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. Wooden toys? Yeah, I don't know, man. When everyone wants electronic stuff. Gear, a trip? No idea. I really don't. No idea, man. He raises his hand. At least you're honest enough to say you don't know, and I appreciate your honesty. He closes his eyes like he's taking a moment's rest. You want me to tell you what they really want? What kids these days want are machine guns and dolls whose hair you can fix. I feel like those two things are not, like, in the same line, you know what I mean? Like, they're not, those are not equivalent things. He seems to have calmed down for a second, but it was just an illusion. Speaking of which, both girls and boys like those dolls whose hair you can fix. Oh boy. He twitches his mustache in silence. Back when I still made toys for kids, I can tell you they couldn't care less about them. Couldn't give a damn. They just wanted to have fun, play, laugh, and forget that their parents were losers. He leans over to you, ripe with anger. He said back when he used to make toys. Did you used to make toys, or do you actually think you're Santa? Suck, that's the real problem, I'm telling ya. Parents are losers, idiots. Putting kids into this world, those guys haven't got a clue. Am I right or am I right? I mean, have you seen the state of the ice cap these days? Oh my god, what? Have you, huh? 'Cause there's not much of it left. He pauses. Now, I can't say it's all bad. I don't have as many polar bears coming into my yard. He thinks he's actually Santa Claus. Damn nasty beasts, vicious, mean. I'm not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. Before things were different. Tears form at the corners of his eyes. Shit, I can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. He throws you a sideways glance. He did say like 50 years ago, and it doesn't seem like he ought to be that old. Because if he was like an adult 50 years ago, he's like 70-ish at least, right? He doesn't seem like he's that old. I could be wrong. No need to stare. You don't even have time to react when he starts back into his rant. I remember you, you know. To tell the truth, I remember everyone, every single person. You were an angry one. So terribly angry. And your letters, your handwriting, holy suck, were they held in a cipher. Don't worry though, the elves handle all that for me. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Oh no. He's not gonna be racist towards elves, is he? Otherwise I wouldn't have time to do nothing. Yeah, you were just furious. It's like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell. Someone wrenching your gut. Do I have a brother? How right is this guy? Man, what an... He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about something else. How do you know all that? You still don't get who I am? You stare at him in the rearview mirror. Look, kid, I'm not gonna spell it out for you. And something tells me you'd rather avoid the subject. A little something called jail. Another punch punch to the stomach. Jail? What? So there's your Christmas present. We're not gonna talk about it. He smiles, opens his eyes wide. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow it down a bit, kid. He searches outside for sleigh. I think he said car earlier, but what are you looking for? We're looking for my sleigh, kid. What else? He looks at you with pity. It shouldn't be hard to spot. There's a sleigh and a couple of half-dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. My God, I so hope he actually gets in an actual sleigh and rides off. I'm sure it's, like, in an alleyway somewhere. Oh, right over there. Turn right. You obey and go up to a street you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit, it's right there. It was right there. Drive around the block. You turn again, and back, your passenger is mumbling. I'm gonna have to get one of those thingamajigs, GPSs. It'd help me find my sleigh more easily. You eventually pull over in an alley, no light, a few empty office buildings, and some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Kid, sorry about before. I didn't mean, to bring up any sore points. He pays his fare. Watch your back, kid. He gets out and slams the door. He slips on the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp with a heavy and awkward step. He clumps along the alley. I'm gonna stay. Make sure he's doing okay. You sit for a moment watching him. At the end of the alleyway, he starts rummaging through a pile of boxes, pushes a trash can on wheels aside, and disappears. He could just be homeless, and that's where he lives. Stay a bit longer. A few minutes go by and nothing. You turn the key and start driving again. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Something tells you they'll stick around for a while. I wonder if we would have driven away sooner, if we would have been like, we hear sleigh bells. Okay, well, I'll take it. I feel like we made a decent amount of money this time, and that should be the end of night 5. Night 5, 450. You now know more about your clients. I've met Angelique. Okay, we did well for our balance, I think. Felches. Company cut, car maintenance, spending, investigation, losses of $1.66. Nice. I've met Grace. So we actually made some money this time. You helped Grace to hang up the phone. We did that 2 days ago. Last stream. Grace told you about Delibes et Lacme. Grace admitted she wanted to be a dancer. I just want to dance. Grace admitted she wanted to be a dancer. Oh, you said that a second ago, Game. Game, you just told me that. I've met Ludwig, who was not a real boy. He was a ghost boy. Maybe from my past. Ludwig helped you with your investigation. I don't know why we hallucinated a boy, because it was just to talk about our memories. You thought about when you met Matthew. Matthew talks about his father. Yeah, I don't think I remember that one going very well. And about his pain. I've met Piero, who was one of the suspects that we had in the investigation, but he was let off, so we're not worried about him. He told us that he was gay. He felt comfortable enough with us to confide in us, although we technically already knew that. Piero told you about James. Not that we learned anything that way. Piero threw up. He did, and that got me an achievement for some reason. And again, he did. He did that twice. Couldn't quite get him to go 3 times. You advised Piero to talk to his colleagues, but he didn't. But he did not. You dropped Piero off at his place. That may have been for the better. I don't know. I've met Annabelle, who was also, like, going away. We got her to hang up her phone on her parents, too. You have to, Annabelle, keep it together. Keep it together, Annabelle. We went and did yoga. I know, did yoga. Yoga. I'm just reading through all this as a reminder of who I met. And then we met Santa. Santa talked about your brother. It's, weird that he knows any of that. You did not find Santa's sleigh. I wonder if there was a way to find it then, after all. I wonder if there was a way. Because it says we didn't find it, but that doesn't actually mean it was there to be found. It doesn't mean that there was a sleigh, but the game part of me suspects maybe there would have been. Maybe there would have been. Take a few minutes to update my board. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the pipe shake. You sigh and get to work. We still haven't uncovered any new documents. We haven't discovered new documents since, like, the beginning of this, like, investigation, really. I don't even know if we found new stuff. The killer took care of the gun, which belongs to Paul, again. First 3 files were not a part of the police leak, which for some reason connects us to Paul. I mean, he was a retired cop, though. The files weren't a part of the police leak, so it's likely that it had to be a cop because it wasn't leaked to the public, so the public couldn't know, so Harvey, Salim, and Claudia couldn't have known. That's kind of the thing. Well, we also found that the killer left their country, which does connect to Paul. Paul, who are you? Born in the French Antilles. Moved to mainland France in 1976. Okay, so that's... Okay, I thought Paul was French. We were trying to figure that out, but we hadn't looked at the board yet, actually. So yeah, I thought he was French, but I guess there is a difference between mainland French and the French Antilles. I actually don't know how to say that word. Okay. So that still could lean toward Paul. Okay, good. That helps me a lot because I was thinking that the only killer outside the country was Claudia, because it seems like that is very much like a huge factor if that we learned from this night 5. But I was thinking, like, if it has to be Claudia, we do have stuff on Claudia, but it's not a lot. It's information that we got from... Here's the thing. The information we got from our contact about Claudia coming from Argentina, the victim being Argentinian, part of the junta. Like, we have motive on Claudia, but what if the Argentinian embassy is actually trying to get Claudia put away because she escaped from Argentina, who lost her parents to the junta? So they might be after her or something like that. So that could be a setup. Claudia could be getting set up. I'm still very much leaning toward Paul. The killer clearly took care of his gun. It was an older gun, a 70s gun. The killer was a bit wrinkly. This guy is retired. He divorced from a judge, which I feel like is a little misleading, though, because the cops are calling him the killer, the judge, completely coincidentally. But he being a retired cop and divorced from a judge, and, you know, having been married to a judge, there's a lot of, like, justice and law and respect for the law, that kind of thing, even though he's going straight vigilante. And we do have the crime scene messages, justice, and time is up. Actually doesn't really lend itself very well for that. What was the other one? You deserve this. Which, crime scene 2, I think that victim was the child molester, I think. No, victim 1 was. No, victim 1 was. Okay. Well, I'm still leaning toward Paul, really. Alright, we'll end our night. I didn't learn a lot. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slide onto the open sofa bed. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Yeah. You open one eye. You slept badly. Sometimes you're so tired you can't seem to get any rest. You'd like to understand how that's even possible. You get up quickly. Oh, I know that feeling. And a few minutes later, you're outside your studio. Night 6. I think we have this, and we might have night 7 left. I think we might have 2 nights left to us. Okay. It looks like our only fare is you, whose name escapes me, but we've helped you before. There's gas we can get, and there's no new contacts, no new eyeballs. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna go help her. Is the only thing I can think of. That's the only move to make. It's the only move to make, really. A bakery on your right is lit up. 2 bakers are smoking in the doorway. Angelique de Vendemier. Taxi, Victor Hugo infected hemorrhoid stage. Oh, this is the Tourette's lady. Oh, boy. She's got a good fare, 35 euro. I'm going to go grab myself some coffee, and I'll be right back. I got to go get myself some coffee. It should be ready now. I had to make some. Ooh. here we go. It's hot. It's a hot, steaming pile of coffee. Whew. Here we go. This gives me a good chance, too, to make sure my Discord went through. I don't know if it did. Let's see if our Discord message went through. And I think I forgot to tweet. So I think I can tweet. Tweet. Let's see here. What do we got? Ah, no. Yeah, no, my Twitch went through. Okay, cool. Not my Twitch, my my Discord went through. Perfect. Let's put a little tweeter tweet. Let's put a little bit of that going. We called this episode Who Dunnit? And this game is called Night Call. This is part 3, I think. And it's Mornin Mo at twitch.tv/MagicManMo. Yes. Twitter right now is like, you should add a tweet to your previous tweet to create a thread. Would you like to learn how threads work? And I'm like, Twitch? I mean, Twitter? You think I don't know how threads work? You think I haven't been on Twitter for long enough to know what a thread is? You're crazy. You crazy son of a gun. All right, here we go. Howdy ho. I just figured it was a good opportunity to take care of that because I hadn't done it at the beginning of the stream. I even thought about it. I was going through it, and I think I spaced out and was more worried about making sure my coffee was going. You immediately recognize the passenger who just sat in the back of your cab. Yep. Pricey perfume. It's the perfume lady. Fur around her neck, and a strange form of emotional trauma that causes her to say terrible things. Oh, it's you again. You know, urethral fart. I don't think that is possible. Maybe it is. I was thinking about the last time we met. You listened to me. I don't often cross paths with people who listen to me and don't make fun. I really appreciated it. Well, I mean, like, whether or not her little Tourette's thing is caused by stress or not, I mean, I like, it's not an unknown thing. Like, people do suffer from, like, Tourette's and, like, shout random things. That is something that exists. So what was I gonna do? Like, make fun of her? Poke fun? What would that have accomplished me? She flashes a saving smile. Suck your mother. She gently shrugs her shoulders. Drive towards the 16th arrondissement, please. She purses her lips and manages to stifle the insult ready to escape. You start the car, praying that this time around your passenger won't say anything during the ride. Your passenger sighs. Do you know what I did today? You glance at her in the rearview mirror. No idea. Well, dear sir, I opened a bank account. Oh, her own bank account, not tied to her ex-husband? She flashes a smug smile. In my own name, sucking biatch. She takes a moment. What do you mean, how is that possible? She's separated from her husband. I'm happy for you. Thank you. Shite. My husband never thought I needed one. He took care of everything. It was easier. I say those other two responses I could have done. It's like, I've heard of people not having a bank account, especially if they're married. I've heard of this. I think you should get your own, but that's my personal belief. Some people think they should share everything with their spouse, which is great until you get divorced. She shrugs her shoulders like it was all of no importance. Double suck. I get it, you know, how terribly complicated all of this paperwork is. All these contracts, page after page of tiny print. The woman at the bank was charming, very instructive, four-legged slut. Her face is clouded with sadness for a second. I could tell, of course, that all this, she points to her face, all this bothered her. Stitch, son, slut. That's probably why they didn't want me to open my account in our old branch. She looks out at the road passing by. An awkward silence fills the cab. Your passenger puts an end to it, her voice slightly croaking as she speaks softly. Both my children had bank accounts before I did. Isn't that unbelievable? And my daughter. She told me 1,000 times that it wasn't normal. Dick, that everyone should have it. Ass, that the 1940s were over, and I blew her off, you see. Look, it's never too late to start. I was happy with the way things were. Her eyes grew hazy, her lips pursed. How did it work? Well, my husband gave me cash. He took care of any major expenses himself. She shrugs and seems slightly annoyed by the question. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't really know why, but I never felt the need to have my own bank card. Not when we got married, nor after. Tiny Dick! You get the impression that the last outburst wasn't quite like the others. Interesting. It almost seemed intentional. Like she's just intentionally trying to... Like, anytime her husband comes up, like, she's repeated that one before. Anytime her husband comes up, Tiny Dick is one of the things she yells. I'm on to you, Angelique. You know, I've never paid rent. Not a shadow of pity in her voice, simply an observation. I'm starting a completely, a new life. I have to sign papers and send letters and documents proving I actually live where I say I do. It's odd. She heaves a strange sigh. I'm starting a new life, like I was on the run and hiding behind a false identity. Quite dramatic, isn't it? Oh, my game froze for a second. Hamster up your butt. She smiles crookedly, but it's so fast you almost miss it. You are not far from your destination. Your passenger appears lost in her thoughts. The trip continues in silence for a few minutes. Bitch. Almost. Until you pull up in front of your client's place. She almost jumps when you speak up. Here we are. Yes. You know, diarrhea. My parents live just a little further up the street. She lets the sentence hang in the air, like she's learning the fact at the same time as you. Actually, I lived my whole life here. She pays her fare. The bills are brand new, spanking clean. Good night and good luck, sir. Syphilis. And she gets out. You watch her until she disappears into the lobby of her building. She pays very well. We didn't learn anything. I didn't really have any options. She was the only fare I could have taken anyway. But we didn't really learn much. Honestly. Oh boy, we're getting low on gas. We've got Emily and Lucy, and we've got the racist columnist. I think we're going to go with the racist columnist. Again, because he works in the newspaper, he might have more info. Emily and Lucy, I just don't think are going to have anything for us. We can keep going there if we just want to learn more about their story, but I don't think they're actually helpful. They're fun. They're fine. A familiar smell tickles your nose. Oh no, not this bull crap. I'm going completely the wrong way now. You turn around just in time to see a little ghost appear in the back seat of your taxi. I feel like this is the only way we get information now. We used to be getting like evidence from people, but now it's just our hallucinations. He remains still as he watches you. Nice to see you again, my friend. You sigh, him again. His presence makes you ill at ease, but you've stopped trying to find an explanation for his apparitions. Whew, surprise yawn. Sneak attack. You start driving. Viennes de Paris, please. You jump. You see the specter behind you seated in his usual spot. His silhouette seems warm and kind. 49 Rue Monge, I think. Come on, get going. I don't want to miss the beginning of the show. All right, I'll bite. What about the show? What show? Well, yes, the amphitheater show. You don't answer and are evidently surprised. There's a Roman amphitheater in Paris. Were you not aware of this? I feel like if you're my hallucination, then obviously yes. Yes, I am, but I'll bite. Old Roman amphitheater? The amphitheater is right in the middle of the Latin Quarter. Hidden, mysterious, and very discreet. Yet one night I heard music, and I followed the scent. The scent of garum filled the streets that evening as cooks busily worked around the fire. I don't know what garum is. I really don't. A sauce made from fermented fish offal. You gag. It's like ketchup. Old ketchup, not the tomato stuff we make now, but old ketchup that used to be made out of fish. It's delicious. Alright, I'll just politely nod. Sure. I assure you it's delicious. The smell of garum goes right into your head, makes you salivate. In any case, once you taste it, you love it. Anyway, I was walking towards the amphitheater. The little ghost pauses, trying to remember where he left off. I entered the gate and saw all of Paris before me. For 2,000 years, the spirits of the city have gathered there to reenact the festivities of days gone by. An old poet with gapped teeth recites a few words, always the same passage. We bring fighters into the middle of the ring to reenact Roman battles. He smiles slightly. My mother would scold me for saying this, but the bear always triumphs over the Christian. You're struck by a strange smell. I wonder what that means. Is that like a hidden message or what? I get that in Roman arena fights, people would often fight. Like bear fights were a real thing that happened. Not only in Rome either. That carried all the way even into Italy in the Renaissance, or was it just before the Renaissance? When did they put a stop to that? Am I thinking of Italy? Was it Italy? Was it Italy? It might have been France. I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember where that happened. But bear fights went for even well beyond the Roman days. It went for a while. Around Shakespearean days, there could still be bear fights in public, even as late as into Shakespearean times. We'll say that. You can do your own research about what period that was. Garum may be sour, thick, vinegary, repulsive, and compelling. Your small passenger's silhouette begins to fade. You, the living, you only see things on the surface, their edges, their crests. The amphitheater is tied down to the earth like it has roots. It's not going anywhere. Ever. Its roots run beneath the city. They touch speed limit markers, houses, cobblestones, Roman baths. He stops, breathes. The salty taste in your mouth is making you thirsty. All the way to Rome. It would have liked to go to Rome. I would have liked to go to Rome. He lifts his hand to point to something in the distance. I'll get off there. Before you can make the slightest move, the little ghost disappears in a split second. You stop the cab and take a minute to collect yourself. God dang it. We didn't get to pick up the fare that we wanted to. We still can, I guess. We can pick up him, Emily and Lucy. Herv's here. We've never met this fellow. I don't know who you are either. You're always so far away. We could go for this guy just be... Oh, and there's someone here too. We could go for this guy because he's close and, like... We've never met him before. As much as I want to keep pestering Hervé because he's like... He's been at the scene of the crimes for at least 2 of the crimes. So he might know something, but he doesn't... He doesn't pay a fare. He doesn't. He doesn't pay anything. He doesn't seem to really give me anything, any information to go by. All right, I'm going to go for this guy again. That's who we were going for. That's... Maybe? Oh. Maybe? Oh, weird. I can't click on it. That's super weird. Okay, well, let's go for, I think, this guy. He's new. See if we can get any new information from a new fare. Veronica Pilshot. I'm going to the 13th arrondissement, 9.73 kilometers, 33 euro fare. It's a long one, but yeah, we'll take it. The passenger getting into the cab smells like alcohol. There's a feeling of sadness about her. Oh, okay. She gives you her address and you start the car. Excuse me. They settle into an unsurprising standard conversation. Climate change, politics, the price of real estate in Paris. But then someone mentions the serial killer. You lean in to listen. A rumor. Could be of help. Oh, nice. We finally got something. Jesus. The passenger pulls out her phone, but the screen remains off. You glance back at her in the rearview mirror every now and then. She's clearly upset, uneasy, sad. All of a sudden, she speaks to you. She has a deep, soft-spoken voice. Excuse me, do you think texting to say you had a nice evening, like, Just 10 minutes after you saw someone, it might seem a bit desperate, no? You smile. Clearly, you're not an expert on the subject. Desperate? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Really? I don't think so. I don't. If you actually had a nice evening, she's just in the cab doing nothing. She wants to text whoever this person was. I don't see anything wrong with that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not the expert either. She gives you a smile. Well, I guess. Anyhow, she immerses herself in her telephone, quickly types a message that she immediately sends. There. I'll just have to wait and see. She sighs. I hope it goes well for her. I really liked meeting that girl. Super nice. I've been in Paris for 8 years now. 8 years. And it's hard. Incredibly hard. Her voice falters. And there are so many people in Paris, too. You should see them. I do a lot of work in law firms. Ooh, that might be helpful to us. They're bursting with attractive women. But there's so much shame. And denial. Most are uncomfortable. Lost. I get it when you're 20. But when you're 30... Your eyes widen in dismay. Anyhow, who am I to say? I wasn't any better when I was 20, right? I'm surprised, that's all. And fed up. The passenger suddenly realizes she's oversharing. I'm guessing she's talking about her troubles and actually finding someone to date who's willing to, like, admit that they are into women or something, I guess. Sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you all this. Don't worry about it. Her eyes lighten up. Thanks for listening. When I got to Paris, I thought I was going to meet a nice group of women at last, to go out and have fun. And all I found was more of the same. Girls who are inhibited, hung up, afraid, who don't want to commit. That girl thought she just wanted to go out for a drink because she was bored. That's why we met up so late. She didn't have anything to do at home, so... She didn't put it that way, of course, but I knew. Dates today or so. My friends who are older talk about the bars they went to back in the day, the underground scene, glances exchanged in the metro. Me, I'm happy just getting an emoji. Pretty pathetic. Here it is, her text. Glad to have met you. Her voice trails off. Oh, that sucks. Glad to have met you is not a good opener, but it's best if we leave it at that. Veronique, I'm sorry. Oh no, she pauses. Signed, woman raising hand emoji. No, that's so terrible. Why would she sign it with that? No. She turns her face away, eyes glued to the passing scenery. Yep. I don't know if she will take this as funny or incredibly mean. You were hoping to get an emoji. Yikes. Man, am I tempted to do that one. We'll say sorry. I don't want to do that one. She answers with an almost imperceptible nod of her head, her eyes fixed instantly on the road. I should have done the emoji. Maybe she would have thought it was funny. Man, I should have done that. She's gonna be totally out of it now. She's gonna give us nothing. We already got a clue. I just feel bad for her. Guard of Guardians, hey, welcome to the stream. So glad you could make it. What's up, Triple M? I like it. Hey, not much. We're playing some Night Call. Luckily, there are the dating apps. We talk, try to get to know each other. Sometimes we can't help it, and we sleep together out of sheer necessity. But our real needs are never actually fulfilled. She falters. An uncomfortable silence ensues. Mine aren't, anyhow. She smiles. You near the address your passenger had given you. Her face clouds over. She lets out a sigh. You park in front of her building. She pays the fare, thanks you warmly, but is unable to open the car door, as if her strength had deserted her. Sorry, I just need a second. Another second. Take your time. She nods, breathing out, straightening herself almost imperceptibly. Okay then. Emoji woman raising hand says goodbye. She gives you a smile and gets out of the cab. I should have said the emoji one. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at myself. I was going to. Her eyes follow her as Your eyes follow her as she walks out over to her building. A moment later, she's gone. Oh, well. Oh, well. I'm sure it didn't really matter. I just feel bad for her. That's all. All right, what do we got? Oh, my God. It is giving us, like, the same people over and over again. It really wants us to hit. Oh, what are those? Are those, like, Final Fantasy shields or something like that? Emojis. She just wanted an emoji. She just wanted an emoji. I still really want to freaking talk to this guy. The game prevented me from talking to him. I'm probably going to get nothing out of him. He's super racist, but somewhere in the street you ran into the movie star, the one in the coffee ads. Oh, did I? I mean, I don't remember if he was racist or if he was just anti-youth. Maybe both. He's one of those, like, worked up. He's worked up. Whatever he is. The shields are my emojis I made for my channel. Oh, okay. I couldn't, from my point of view, I couldn't really tell what was on the shield, so I couldn't tell. Okay. Shields. Is the little person also one of yours? Okay. Nice. I like him. Except the passenger getting in your taxi is the famous polemicist Francois de la Narre, who you've driven home before. He's a gabber. He likes to talk. That's why I've been wanting to get with him to see if he talks about the serial killer. He doesn't seem to recognize you. Actually, he barely looks at you. You start driving. Are you bothered by all these protest marches? His question washes over you. You forgot that during the day, people were holding protests. I work nights. He doesn't know how to follow up. A moment goes by before he yelps. See? There's not much chance they'd come to protest at 3 a.m., eh? It's not really surprising, actually. They want to make change, but only when it's convenient. Not during vacations, not on weekends, not at night. They make fun of us in other countries. France, the land of strikes, the land of protest marches. This country's filled with jackasses, slackers, and simpletons. But they protest nonetheless. What do you mean by that? I mean, they take the bus or the train specifically to protest. Well, yes, they certainly do like to protest, but actually most of the people on strike just stay at home and don't work. Before you can get the slightest word in edgewise, he starts in again. Yeah, we're not going to change his mind about anything. I'm not really going to try. Deep Scottish love and no. Oh. Those are your 3 emojis. Okay. Oh man, it's too small on my screen. Is that one like a dragon? I'll have to look at that one later. And a golden heart. I've got like a little red heart on my YouTube channel. I don't think I have it on my Twitch. I like it. Take the United States, for example. Ooh, you have my attention. They have no right to strike. It's do or die. What do you mean no right to strike? What are you talking about? I want to throw words with you, sir. Spit flies from his mouth and disappears somewhere in the back seat. And they didn't become the most powerful country in the world by going on strike all the time. My man, you don't know nothing. He snickers. His notebook appears in his hand and he begins to write. Strike, protest, unrest. We have strikes like all the time. Usually they're not government strikes though. Although they do happen. Usually it's all like strikes against companies and businesses and unions and that kind of thing. All the time. The country's huge. The United States is huge. There's over 300 million of us. It's like half of a hemisphere. The country's huge. They're happening all the time. While businessmen and manufacturers are working around the clock, French people should be ashamed. Take a look in the mirror and decide to change, to do something. They expect too much from life. They want to have their cake and eat it too. That is literally not what that phrase actually means. And bite off more than they can chew. He catches his breath. Froth begins to form at the corners of his mouth. He's on it. And meanwhile, the world keeps turning. While the strikers twiddle their thumbs, workers are working. No, struggling to get the job done. That's better. Idiotic protest marches. The Frenchest thing and the stupidest. We have to look at the masses in the eye and say, you do not own the streets. You shall not wield them like weapons. He suddenly raises his eyes and looks at you. They are unfocused and his complexion deathly pale. Are you okay, sir? Your passenger's gaze wanders somewhere beyond the windshield. You're gonna give yourself a heart attack. I just remember that I once marched It just came back to me like an old childhood memory. I can see it clearly, from Versailles to Paris. I can picture the banners, the songs, and the people's faces. There were so many of us. We got up at dawn, thousands of us, and we marched toward the capital. Our pure and wholesome voices rose up. Okay, so yeah, he's against it when people protest now, but when he was the one doing it, it was the right thing to do. I see what's happening. You're on strike right now, Guard of Guardians. Because if you're in the United States, then you know exactly what I was talking about. These protests happen all the time, all across the country, for sure. What are you on strike for? Are they like, is it like, for like money, like they overcharge, or is it like for like abuse? Are you guys mistreated? Or if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to talk about it. I was just kind of curious. Our pure and wholesome voices rose up. His voice shakes a bit. I'm not going to do this because that seems snide, and I want to keep him talking. What were you marching for? It was a cry from the heart of the right for high-quality religious education while France was being crushed by the weight of socialism. Which, again, and I don't know how it works in France, but in the States, if you want religious education, you usually just have to go private. We were being ideologically purged, completely decimated. It was the end of parochial schools. The end of our culture as we knew it. His voice trembles. Were they like shutting down parochial school? Parochial school? I do not have to say that word very often. Did you win? I want to keep him talking. Yes, we won. So protesting is okay then? His forehead pitches forward as if his head were too heavy. We weren't being heard. We weren't being respected. Perhaps you are right. A single finger interrupts the conversation. But we didn't go on strike. We didn't bother anyone with our banners or our gatherings. And yet we still won. You think you didn't bother anyone. I'm sure you did. He sighs contentedly as you pull the taxi up along the sidewalk. Those were the days. It was a great time. The left was running the country. He leans in towards you like he's about to tell you a secret with a smirk on his face. And I mean the real left, eh? He pays and gets out of the car. You can hear him talking to himself as he walks toward the front door of his building. What a lovely night. I have gone completely invisible. Good luck to you tomorrow. With all these protest marches, it's going to be a messy one. He's gone before you had the time to remind him you only work at nights. You notice the newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. You start driving. He didn't tip me. What a jerk. I don't like this guy. All right, our gas is getting pretty low. We're right next to a gas station. Let's do it. Let's hit the gas station. Gas station, probably read the paper. You know what I mean? Mistreatment of students. There you go. Well, I hope the best for you. I hope it turns out well. I hope you can come to some sort of agreement with the school. Also, I'm going to try to turn up the volume a little bit. I feel like the game volume is quiet. I don't know how much is going to be too much, but let's go for that. Let's try that. There we go. Because it'd be one thing, because like, you have a giveaway soon. Ooh. A game giveaway? Okay, what do we got here? We got our gas pump. Yeah, let's fill up at the gas, fill the tank. I don't know how many nights we actually have left, but we'll fill all the way up. It's not like we're trying to like end the game with as much money as possible or anything like that. So we'll fill up. Maybe we can grab something in here. We'll walk into the mini mart. The guy behind the counter doesn't even look at you when he starts to talk in a lazy, lifeless tone. Can I help you? Let's buy a lottery ticket. Oh, we won €5. Hey! A hint of a smile spreads across your face. Nice. Well, apparently I can't choose. Oh, I think all three of these were lottery tickets. Oh, all three of these were. Okay, I don't think I understood that. This one I knew was because it said cash on it. But now that I actually look at these a little bit more closely, that's why I could only pick one. That's why I can only pick one. They only want me to do one. The $1, the $2, or the $5. I see. Euro, not dollar. Excuse me.
We could buy a newspaper, but we actually already have a newspaper. Screw it, we'll buy another one. And we'll talk with the clerk. Say, a guy like you, someone who spends most nights here, you must know something about the killer, right? He raises his head and seems almost happy you brought it up. Nice. Please come back, suit. The clerk is still in the middle of his sentence when you leave the shop. Maybe we should have been coming to the gas station every night, even if we didn't fill up every night, just to talk to the clerk. All right, let's leave the gas station. We're filled up. We got a newspaper. We've got some info. I enjoy picking up my fares just fine, but they're not giving me a lot of info these days. Okay, yeah, I've got 2 newspapers. Let's go for it. Let's read the news. Let's read the newspapers. Let's see what we can find. Oh, I thought I clicked it. Read the newspaper. There you go. You pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually, something grabs your eye. A $50 gift card. Oh, that's a big giveaway. Holy cow. I've been thinking about doing a giveaway. I've got a couple of not on Twitch, on YouTube, but I've been thinking about doing a giveaway. I've got a couple of duplicate Steam keys for games that I already have. So I've been thinking about trying to set something up like that, but I don't know when or what yet. It's just a few lines. A funny anecdote. A man disguised as Santa Claus had been taken off the roof of a building by firemen. Oh my God, he's going to get himself killed. We've helped him before. He was highly inebriated and stated he did not know how he had gotten there. You turn the page and stop. You've read about a third of the paper. Keep reading. I don't know why you can stop. I don't know if it just takes more time if we go through the whole thing, but I want to read the whole thing. You stop reading, go back a few pages that you saw something. It's a short article mentioning the strike led by a handful of employees of Confiseries de Moraes, a luxury candy brand. The employees demand better wages. The owners, the Groupe Diamant, are threatening to relocate their factories abroad. You only have a third left to read. I know you got people that they just want to be paid fairly, and then you've got like companies that are like, we're just gonna up and move out of here. I mean, I get it. On the one hand, from a business point of view, they're just trying to make the biggest profit possible. On the other hand, people gotta feed themselves, Yeah, read the whole thing. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. Your instinct tells you to look at this one. It's a sensationalist article about the third victim, Simon Goradischer. He is thought to have escaped Argentina in the 1980s because he was a member of the Process, the military dictatorship that had been in power. Oh man, we paid like €250 or some nonsense like that for that information. We just got it from a newspaper for $4. Pretty important information in your opinion. You shut the paper, it'll end up in the trash tonight. But it is useful information, or it was. It's only useful if Ocampo is in fact the serial killer, which I don't think she is. So it might actually not be useful. I got another newspaper. What do we got? A short, very sarcastic text informs you your fellow cab drivers are going to protest this weekend against vehicles for hire. You shrug. Your boss treats you a lot better than most companies. You turn the page and stop. You've read about a third. Yeah, that text is not gonna. Vehicles for hire, probably like Uber and that kind of thing. I feel like the Uber and Lyft industries really hit the taxi industry pretty hard, or at least radically changed the way it needs to do business. You stop reading, go back a few pages. It's a rather enthusiastic article about a bar named Napo, which I think we've dropped someone off at before. You make a note of the information with interest in your line of work. That kind of thing can always come in handy. You only have a third left. Yeah, read the whole thing. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. Your instinct tells you to look at this one. It's a photo of an important French athlete, a well-known tennis player. He's just been arrested in Switzerland for embezzling millions of euros in image reproduction rights. Jesus. You sigh. You shut the paper. It'll end up in the trash. Okay. That's that. Did I get any new eyeball to check out the Napo? I doubt it. I wouldn't know why. I just out of curiosity. I really need to pick up a fare because we've not made like any money. But should we listen to the radio once? Let's listen to the radio once. Why not? This night's basically been wasted as far as fares go. It's gonna be for when you hit 300 followers. Nice. I don't know what I'm up to now. It's 200 something, which is pretty exciting. But most of those came from like forever ago when I was doing multi-streaming a lot, and then I took a huge break from Twitch, and now it's like No, no one watches. A handful of people do, and I appreciate you coming by to say hey. Your finger is poised in front of your car or radio. You're trying to find something to listen to. News. I don't... Music seems like it'd be a waste of my time, but maybe it wouldn't be, but I'm going to listen to the news. You happen upon the nighttime news. You learn that one of the recipients of this year's Fields Medal, a prize awarded for outstanding work in mathematics, is a French woman of Iranian descent. I think we've helped her before. You hear her voice in a short clip and immediately recognize it as one of your passengers. Her name is Chore Prévert, age 33 on the spectrum and a mathematician. You can't help but smile remembering when she rode in your back seat. As soon as the news is over, you turn the radio off so that the cab is silent again. Yeah, that was useless to us. It didn't do us anything. Oh well, let's go pick up a cab. Let's go pick up a fare. We spent a ton of money, so I definitely can't help her this time because he's not going to pay us. Let's try you. You're like literally right here. Oh, I don't want to be at the gas. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to be at the gas station. I want to. No, you. God dang it! It's going to waste my time, isn't it? Stop talking. Did it waste my time? No, I think it kept my time, but everyone moved. God bless it. There's something about, it's not that big a deal, and I'm gonna act really angry about this, but there's the clicking on things in this game. Like earlier when we tried to click on the columnist and it wouldn't work. Like when it just drops people on top of other things, it's hard to like switch between the two. And then the whole, like, if I drive up to this guy, for example, if I drive all the way to him, and then it tells me who he is. If I cancel, will it take time? Like, if I say refuse, have I still wasted my time? It's unclear. I don't know. Sean Christie, all right. The map, the overworld map, something about it. It's just, it irks me. It irks me so much. It's fine. It's really not that big a deal, but it's irksome. It's irksome. The passenger getting in your cab is clearly upset. Yeah, I don't think we've dealt with this guy before. He gives you an address near the Pantheon. You know the address, a residence for foreign students. You often drive American and Chinese students there. You start the cab. The passenger in the back seat is furious about something. Excuse me. He has a very thick American accent. You look up. Can I ask you something? You nod. How do the police usually treat black people in your country? It's a good question. I have no idea. This is France. I mean, in general, what is their behavior like? He isn't very sure in his pronunciation. Answer honestly, beat around the bush. I don't know. No, well, if he's American, I fully understand where the question is coming from, and he needs the honest truth. So let's answer honestly. He needs to know. He needs to know. I'd say the police have a problem with black people. Oh boy. I don't know, but I figured my character would. You reveal your teeth as you continue speaking. And Arabs. And anyone wearing a hoodie. Hoodie? Which is what he's wearing. Yeah, wearing sweats. Yeah, if you dress like someone from the poor neighborhoods, they give you a hard time. What does rakaye mean? I don't know. It's a new word to him. You shake your head. Well, it's a word with a sort of negative connotations. Negative? Yes, definitely. I wonder if he's been called that word. I wonder if it's a swear word. I have no idea what it is. He gives you a little smile. Now I get it. They thought I was a lowlife, a rakaye, a rasaye, a rasil. I have no idea. Even with your accent? Well, they didn't seem to understand me very well, or maybe they thought I was making fun of them. He sighs. You give him a second to catch his breath. His anger seems to be letting up. You gotta be honest. You gotta shoot the real crap, man. You gotta be real with people. Is everything all right? Let's do that one. He gives you a strange look. I don't know. I'm not feeling well. He takes a deep breath. Look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have jumped on you with a question like that. Don't worry about it. You needed to know. This afternoon, after school, I got mugged in the metro by some guy. Oh no. His voice drops to a whisper. He was the same age as me. He stole my money and phone. He raises his voice a little. Luckily, I still have my credit card and my papers. I went straight to the police station. I was there for 8 hours. For a mugging, 8 hours? My God, man. I'm tired, upset, and ready to quit. He raises his voice even more. I like France, but it's just as hard as, Sorry, I forgot how to read there for a second. But it's just as hard here as it is at home. People look down on you because they don't like the look of you. That's the right expression, isn't it? You nod yes. They say France is the land of freedom, of human rights. Well, they say that about America, too. But you have to behave a certain way here, too. The right way. He screws up his eyes. I'd like to be judged objectively. But I guess there's no such thing as objectiveness. He settles back into his seat. We could try to... What was the spelling of that R word? What was it? Racaille, I think is what it was. Racaille? Rasail? I'm not sure how the French pronounce their L's. I saw 2 L's, so I was going to my Spanish roots, and I'm like, is it like a y sound, or is it an ul sound? I don't know. Because French is a Romance language, like Latin, right? I think so. I think they're Romance languages, so I'm like, the double L might be I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it was Racaille, I think is what it was. What are you studying? Excuse me? A minute ago, you said you were leaving school when you were mugged. What are you studying? I'm studying to be a mime. A mime? Interesting. Okay. A pause. Go ahead, say it. I didn't say anything. No, but go ahead, I'm used to it. I'm not going to make fun of it or anything, I just didn't know mime schools existed. He gives you a big smile. Imagine when I moved to France to study it. My American friends are still having a good laugh. What exactly are you learning to do? Acting techniques, stage production, makeup. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I was hoping that they would, if there was something, okay, scum. Okay. I mean, yeah, I could guess that it meant something probably vaguely, again, derogatory or mean. Scum, okay. Which makes me wonder, as far as this story goes, did they call him that because he's black, or did they call it just because he was speaking broken French, he's wearing a hoodie, and he looks like maybe he's not, you know, middle class. If he looks like he's low class, or, you know, like a bum or something, or is that why they were calling him scum? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe a little bit of all of it. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I was hoping that if I had to say something, I was hoping I could say something nice about mime school, because it is a type of acting. It's like going to like improv class or something like that. It's acting. I don't know much about mimery as a skill set, but it's like acting. Anything related to the art of mime, really. And there aren't any mime schools in the US. I've never heard of any. There might be classes. There might be some like private studios, maybe. But as far as schools, not that I know of. There might be. I've never heard of a mime school specifically. Is it a good school? It must be really interesting. He hasn't told us he's from America, I don't think. Let's keep him. It must be really interesting. The best. His face breaks into a smile. That's why I'm still in France, for that matter. Because he said he's not from France. I don't know if he said he's from the States or not. So I didn't want to be presumptive. He might have said America, actually. He might have said so. I'm not sure. You sigh. Why did I sigh? France is not for everyone. What do you mean? I mean, the French usually stand up for their country. They're worse than Americans. Worse? They're worse than America? Wait, what? Oh, I see what he's mean. I'm saying France is not all that. And he's confused because the French usually do. Okay, I see what he's saying. I read that, I'm like, what? What do you mean worse than America? I'm like, what? I don't get it. A country is like a romantic relationship. You can't fall in love with everybody. We have our likes, our dislikes, then we fall under the spell again. He's watching you. Are all cab drivers philosophers like you? Just me, I'm a super philosopher. He flashes a smile. I'm gonna say I don't know. The passenger gives a little laugh, then his eyes glaze over with an expressionless, perhaps even sad look. Thanks, man. It was good to talk to you. Yeah, man, hang loose. He slipped into the informal to form, no doubt by accident. Oh, well, maybe because we're friends now. I have a hard time controlling my anger sometimes. That's why I had trouble with the police today. Oh, you got a little angry. Again, language barrier and everything. You got a little angry, and then they assumed you were getting belligerent. But again, like language barrier, and you had just been mugged. So, I mean, it's reasonable that the tensions would be a little high. How so? Well, Well, to start, they made me sit in a room for hours with a woman who was clearly a prostitute. I have no idea if that's even illegal in France. I have no idea. They didn't want to take my statement. They didn't want me to file a complaint. I had to insist. They made fun of my studies, but I'm used to that. Wow, did they ask you what you studied? Because I feel like that wouldn't have been relevant to the mugging case. A small smile appears at the corner of his mouth. And then when I started to get a little mad, when I mentioned the American embassy, they said if I wasn't happy here, I should go home. Certain innuendos were a little... When I got out, there were no more metros, so here I am, telling my life story to a philosopher cabbie. He gives you a smile. You might get some help if you go to an embassy. If you were mugged, if you go to an embassy, they might be able to talk to the cops for you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's something you'd have to wait a long time for, though. I don't know how busy American embassies are, let alone in France. Cops, it's complicated here. Do they treat you badly, too? You smile and shake your head. No need for him to know. We've been to prison. Suddenly, the Pantheon appears among the dark buildings. Its white dome breaks up the dull orange and brown tones of the Parisian night sky. Your passenger breathes a little sigh of satisfaction. It's beautiful, isn't it? No doubt about it. You park in front of the residence where the young man lives. He pays the fare and stretches his hand towards you. Thanks again. Meeting you was just what I needed. You shake his hand. He has a strong, confident grip. We've touched. Now we've got the corona. Raquet? Is that how it's pronounced? Raquet? Or... Raquet. Okay. Because I was saying, like, what was I saying? Like, Raquet, Rasai, or whatever the heck I was saying. Raquet. So, yeah, it sounds like... Okay. I need to learn a little bit more French, just so that I know pronunciations a little bit better. Every now and again, I whip out the old Duolingo app and just work on some basic vocab in whatever language I feel interested in working on. So maybe I'll have to whip out the old French and see if I can work on some, that way I know how the letters are pronounced. Even if I don't know a lot of vocab or structure or anything like that. That way I can at least be able to say words. Maybe I'll have to do that. That'll be my homework. It'd be a good series. Actually, I don't think I read that one. What do you say? Philosopher Cabbie would be a good series. You answer with a smile. It would be, I agree. He opens the door, gives you a big smile, then disappears. You hold your arms close to your sides for a moment. You catch your breath, trying to control the anxiety welling up inside. The mere mention of police, and you start the cab. Yeah, we've had some kind of bad history with the police, personally. I'm not sure exactly the details on that history. Apparently, we've been to prison for murder. Apparently. That's what Bussett seemed to imply when she was blackmailing us. We don't know if we did it or if we were wrongfully accused. We have no idea. But that was like back when we were 17. So obviously we were probably a little traumatized. I've got time for one more fare, I think. Herva, again, he's not going to pay anything when we spent a ton of money. So one of these two would probably be the way to go. We'll go with her. She's right next to us. Let's go for it. I don't think I've met either of these two people. Pauline Huaru, La Motte Piquette. 8 kilometers, 28 euro. We'll take it. It's a good amount of euro. We need the money. When in the morning. Ooh, what are you wearing? Your next passenger slides into the cab and slams the door rather violently. Easy, lady. She gives you her address. You start driving. You give her a quick once-over. No suitcase, no purse, no pile of papers or tickets, no wedding band, and a look of defeat on her face. She drops someone off at the airport. Not her kid, not her husband, not a colleague or a client. Who? Man, we are... Not only are we a philosopher, we are a detective. Should I or shouldn't I? You raise your head. Excuse me? Your passenger jumps. Did I say that out loud? Her face turns crimson. I am... Sorry, She shakes her head, apologizes profusely, and stumbles over her words. Everything all right? Yes, it's just, She shakes her head slowly. It's a bit hard to understand what's going on with me right now. You sense she needs to talk about it. More like she must talk about it. Her voice is warm and deep and has a stunning accent. The West Indies? I have no idea what accent that is. I am not a worldly man. I'm in shock. No, not the West Indies. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. On the contrary, I'm in love. Silence. She's from an island, but you can't tell which one. Dude, what if she's the lady that other lady we picked up was talking with over the phone? What if the one that the emoji lady? What if she's the other lady? My dude, what if? I don't know how that would work time-wise, but what if? She's from an island, but you can't tell which one. Out of the blue, just like that, whereas I'm usually... She shakes her head. I'm usually the one people fall in love with. I'm demanding, complicated. I always have someone on my mind, but it's never the right person. But this time it was reciprocal. She flashes an incredible smile. She's American, lives in Seattle. She's a journalist like me. She was here covering the terrorist trial. Our eyes kept crossing. Ooh, we might be able to get some info out of her. Maybe? We spent 4 days side by side. Just enough time for the trial to come to an end, for us to wrap up and spend an evening wandering along the banks of the Seine. Although I think the emoji lady said she might have been a lawyer, not a reporter. I don't remember now. Her eyes get a bit misty. It was really cold out, but we didn't even notice. Her smile suddenly vanishes, and I just dropped her off at the airport. There you have it. She pauses. It was short, intense. We'll probably never see each other again. Maybe it's better this way. I don't like the idea of vacation romance, because that seems like fleeting, and she feels like she's in love, so you should have gone with her. I don't know if that's the right move. That also might be a little sudden. Look, Skype dating is a thing. You can do the long distance. You can talk for a while. Maybe travel a little bit. You know, you gotta play it a little slow. I'm just gonna go with you think. She watches you for a second. Yes, of course. It's not like I was going to go with her. Right, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, they knew each other for 4 days. That's usually not an appropriate amount of time to be like, I'm going to now go with you to another country. Usually. You know what I mean? It seems like a big move. And what was it really? A few evenings together? A few hours here and there? She shifts her body slightly and seems to forget you. She's lost in thought. You can see her lips move, tremble, form words she doesn't say out loud. Then suddenly you hear her whisper, "Go with her." Oh, but she wanted to do it. An odd look takes over her face. Yes, take a plane, follow her, find her. Why am I saying this? That's not the choice I went with, but sure, why not? But she giggles. What would I tell work? I can't just... She doesn't bother finishing her sentence. Even she doesn't believe the lie she's telling. Yes, I have time to make up, comp time. It's the least my editor can do. She pauses. Yes. I mean, why not? She's got a layover in London, has to spend most of the day there. I go to the ticket counter and she stops. No, tickets will cost me a fortune. She sighs. I know, I already looked. The next flight is at 6. She already looked. So she actually was wanting to... She actually wanted to go, even looked, even considered it. If I knew that, go, my lady. If you want to do it so badly, you're even looking at it. Look, it might be expensive now, but you're in love. Love is forever. This is Paris. Her eyes wander. A fortune. None of that was really intended for your ears, but you feel like answering all the same. What if she's the love of your life? They'll make a pretty penny off those tickets. Indeed. Look, it's Paris, the city of love. What if she's the love of your life? She almost jumps. The love of my life? She leans towards you, wrinkles her forehead, and smiles a genuine smile. Just what kind of cab driver are you? I think we often make bad choices for the wrong reasons. Bad choices for the wrong reasons. That's deep. Let me think about that. Her gaze wanders outside to the road, Parisian suburbia, the yellowish street lamps. Do I really need this money? Again, the point of money is to get you the things you need and want in life, right? Money is a means to an end. Money itself, if you just let it pile up in a giant pile, doesn't do anything for you, right? Like physically by itself doesn't do anything. It's money I've saved up to go visit family, but when I'm there, I feel out of place. Like I'm suffocating. All the more reason then, right? Where are you from? All the more reason then, right? All the more reason indeed. All the more reason. She smiles. Seattle. She looks you straight in the eye. I have to go, don't I? It's like a movie. It's like a movie. Like a love movie. I'm gonna nod. Very well. Then turn around, please. As soon as you can, you turn around and start heading back to the airport. The road is empty, wide open. The last planes have already left, and the first ones won't take off for a few more hours. Your passenger watches the road go by. I feel good. For the first time in months, like a weight has been lifted. Then it was if that's how you feel, then this was the right move. If you're turning around and you're heading back to the airport and you feel sick to your gut, then maybe it's not the right move. That's love for you. I'm gonna say I'm glad. I'm glad. Your grin gives color to her words. You say that like it's obvious, like it's a natural state. But a lot of people are scared. They're in pain. They're suffering. She stares at you, a little smile on her lips. And you? How are you? Your question throws you off guard, she can tell. It's complicated. The tone of your voice casts a chill over the cab. Okay, I didn't mean to. She shakes her head. We don't have to talk about it. Your passenger is a journalist. Maybe she could help you, give you some information. This is what we warmed her up for. Let's go for it. I need your help. You need my help? You explain the situation, the attack, the hospital. Of course, you leave out Busette. You don't talk about the wall at your place, the nightmares, or your anxiety. I'm doing my own investigation. Her face lights up each time she learns something new. I didn't cover this story, but we're gonna accidentally convince her to stay. We're giving her all this juicy info, and then she's not gonna want to leave now. Whoops, but this could be my in. I need anything at this point. She slips into thoughtful silence as you park in a drop-off spot at the airport. I know someone. Oh! She gazes deeply into your eyes. The first plane to London doesn't leave until 6 a.m. I'll have time to call my contact. He'll send you what he knows about the judge. Between us, though, it's risky. The killer clearly knows people in high places. You nod. And now all I have left to do is empty my bank account and wait for my plane. Oh no, I didn't want you to empty your bank account, but oh boy, time to go. She pays and gets out of the cab. You wave at her a bit nonchalantly. She does the same. You watch at her as she disappears into the terminal. That was so good. I have no time. Oh my god. I hope there's a night 7 because, oh my god, we got such a huge lead. But I have no time now. Hopefully I don't have to meet the lead. Hopefully it just goes to my apartment and I can look at it. Hamster up your butt. I saw Ludwig again. Yeah, we did. Nice. We got a €5 bonus from the lottery. That's right. Yeah, we lost a ton of money. But it's fine. I've met Veronique. We spent a ton of money on gas. Gas, every couple of days we have to get gas. Takes a ton of cash. Veronique faced a negative answer during her trip. Oh no. Oh yeah, that was the emoji, that's right. You found out Chiro won the Fields Medal. We haven't seen her in a while. I've met Sean. I like Sean. You were honest with Sean. It's the only way to be, my man. It's the only way to be. You gotta be honest with my dudes. You helped Sean. Yeah, heck yeah I did. You're darn right I did. Kendall the Koala, hi, welcome to the stream. So glad you could make it. You haven't met Pauline? We have. We've met Pauline. Pauline asked you to turn around. We got a lot out of Pauline. I hope our documents got just sent to our apartment so we can look at them. You asked Pauline to help you with the investigation. I hope it went well. Nice. That was night 6. Now, I think I have one more night. I think I have just one more night. Yeah, I don't have OWO on Twitch. Twitch is way behind on spells. Twitch, the Twitch bot has like 3 spells. It's like Fireball and like High Chair and maybe even not even that one. I don't even remember what they are. It's not very many. Yeah. You take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the pipe shake. You sigh and get to work. Oh, I don't have any documents down here, so I don't know if that got sent over or if I have to actually make contact at one of the eyeball things first. Powder smell while talking to Ludwig. That was from the gun, that's all. That from, first few victims not part, killer left the country. Colonel message, victim protect. I'm just looking around to see if I've actually got any new things here. Actually, I don't think I have any new info. Oh, victim 1 was a great football coach. I didn't see that over there. Yeah, that connects to Salim, but I really don't think it's Salim. Source customer. Okay. I don't know how long that's been sitting over here. That's not where that belonged, but that's okay. Okay. Everything about this, see, everything about the murders, this literally belongs to, I don't know why that's over there. That needs to go over there. No one's over 1.80 meters. Everything about the victims, though, seems like it was done by an experienced professional, which is why it's like it's not going to be Salim unless he's got a side gig that I don't know about. He's a lawyer. He's not a professional like Paul probably is. Hervé, he's a little off. I don't think he could have pulled off the killings and gotten away with it for as long as he did, because he's had the run-ins with the cops before. So if there was anything on him, I think they would have already nailed him. And Cloudy, I think, is just a victim of circumstance as far as the evidence goes. So yeah, I'm just really leaning toward Paul. That's what I'm leaning toward. Cool. I'm gonna leave this up. I'm gonna go refill my coffee. What is this game? Looks cool. It's a night call. Oh. Oof. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. It's night call. So we play as a cab driver. We are the recent victim of a serial killer. A serial killer tried to, I think they tried to murder one of our passengers, because I think one of our passengers died. But because we were there, they tried to murder us too, because we were a witness. So they shot us, but we survived. We were in a coma for like a month or whatever. And now that we've survived, we're just trying to get back to, doing our job again. But an officer of the law, Madame Bousset, I don't know if it's Bousset or Bousset, I don't know if they pronounce the T or not, but she's blackmailing us to work with her because we have a shady history. Our character has a shady history. We've done some jail time in the past. We've got some shady history, and she's got some dirt on us. She's like, you're gonna help me find the killer, or I'm gonna, reveal all this stuff to people, because we're like living in a secret identity, and people don't know who we are. Like our boss doesn't know that I've done jail time or whatever. So she's just threatening to try to ruin my life a little bit if we don't help her, which is funny because personally I don't need to be blackmailed. I'm in. I'm okay with this. So what we're trying to do is collect evidence to figure out who the serial killer is. These are the 5 suspects the police have, except for Piero has now been cleared. Piero's been cleared by the police, so he's not a suspect anymore, which is good because he was actually one that I was leaning toward between him and Paul. We actually met Piero. He was one of our fairs, one of our clients, and actually he seems like a really decent guy, so I'm glad that it's not him. Has a nice backstory. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I think it's obviously, at this point, I think it's obviously Paul, but I think we have one more night. I think we have one more night before Bousset calls us to see how we're coming along with the investigation. And I think once she calls us for the second time, because she's called us once before, I think once she calls us for the second time, that's it, and we have to pick somebody. I think it's Paul. I think it has to be Paul. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go refill my coffee. I'll be at 30 seconds. Here we are. Ooh. Hot. That's hot. Okay. I think that's going to do it for this night. It looks like I didn't get the documents from... oh god, what was her name? Veronique. I don't think I got anything, so I think we'll have to make contact in night 7. The phone rings, you impulsively take a step back. Ooh, actually, maybe that's it. That might be it. It's the moment of truth. Oh, no, no, no. Is it time? No, no, no. I have one more contact. No, I needed one more night. I thought I had one more night. All right. We could let it ring. If I let it ring, can I get an extra night? Creepy. Oh, God, no. I think it's got to be Bousset. Hello? Yep, it's her. Hi. I forget what voice I gave her. Ice cold. So? She heaves a long sigh. There's no background noise. She must not be at the station. Where are you? For a second you think she's going to tell you, but then... Somewhere. None of your business. A light clinking noise. The sound of a teacup and a coaster, maybe. She's probably home. I'm listening. What have you got for me? She clears her throat. Her voice sounds louder, more confident. You glance at the wall. The suspects are all lined up. All the evidence. A whole mess of your ideas. Your stomach is in a knot. I don't have to remind you. You cannot get this wrong. I have a meeting in 2 hours with the district attorney and the chief of police. I needed one more night. I met Veronique just a moment ago. I'm too late. I needed one more. I thought I had one more night. I thought I got 7. I thought I would get one more. Even the Minister of the Interior will be in a corner of the room somewhere. Obviously, I'm thrilled. Oh, but I certainly don't want to put too much pressure on you. You can almost hear the smirk she must be wearing. I don't like her. You lay the receiver down on the table. Now you have to decide. Oh, crap. All right, well. I think it's Paul. The connections we have with Paul. Okay, so he's the heights don't matter. The heights don't, they're all so close that the heights don't matter. Do you have to guess? Apparently I do. I thought I had one more night. I thought I had one more night before I had to guess. Now I have to guess. I have no idea what would have happened if I let it ring. Maybe that would have been the end of the game. She would have just used her blackmail. He's a retired cop. He joined the police in 1977. He divorced from a judge. By the way, the serial killer is called the Judge. It's a little on the nose. He was born in the French Antilles. I don't know how to pronounce that. Moved to the mainland France in 1976. All right. From the gun shop. Oh, no, that's right. Weapon. So the weapon used in the killings is a police gun from the 70s, which matches up. It's a rare gun too, so it's like not very common. The killer had wrinkles on their hands. Paul's a little bit older. The weapon was kept in perfect shape by a professional, which as a retired cop, Paul would probably do. The killer left their country, which the French Antilles is technically not in mainland France, so I guess that's different because, like, again, this over here, it's highlighted, so that does connect to Paul, apparently. I wouldn't have thought so, but the game is telling me, yes, that does connect Paul. And while we were talking to Ludwig, which it was just a hallucination of ours, we smelled powder. So it's like I think we remember smelling powder from when we got shot. Not that really helps us. We knew we were shot. There was no mystery about us being shot. That wasn't new to us. McClouster, welcome to the stream. So glad you can make it. You're late, so sorry. It's okay. We're accusing the serial killer. I thought you said you had 5. Did you eliminate an option? Yes, Piero has been let off. I didn't eliminate him. The police called up and, or not the police, it was Bousset the first time she called us. She called up to let us know that Piero has been let off. He's not a suspect anymore. He's had an alibi or whatever. He's completely clear, which is good because I was kind of leaning between Piero and Paul. And we even met Piero after the police called and said, okay, this isn't a suspect anymore. I actually met him. We actually drove him somewhere, and he seems like a pretty decent guy, actually. He's got his own struggles going on. I just don't see him being a killer. He seems too nice. Anyway, there's Hervé. He's a homeless man with an unknown background. He briefly worked for Charles Bougrain, who was victim number 2 in the 90s. That's why he's connected. He got health issues after a Richtenden health scandal, a couple of arrests for breaking and entering, just that kind of thing. The victim 2 had a stolen wallet, who was also this guy's boss. Again, Hervé's homeless, so it's like, okay, all the victims were wealthy. Hervé has motive. He needs money. Crime scene on the crime scene 2 in chalk or whatever, it was written, "You deserve this." So again, if Hervé has a personal connection to Charles, maybe that connects them. And there was a homeless man seen around crime scene 2 and 3, which could have been Hervé. But that seems very circumstantial to me. It's not very ironclad. I don't like that evidence. I've met Hervé. He seems like he is disgruntled with the police a lot, but he's homeless. I think he just gets into trouble a lot. So again, I don't see him being a killer. I think he just gets into trouble a lot. Salim, he's a well-known lawyer from St. Ouen. He's the defender in the Douar case, which is currently the terrorist case. He's currently been charged with defending a terrorist who's probably guilty. He's super stressed. We've actually met him as well. We haven't met Paul. We've met Hervé and we've met Salim. Salim was the defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods in the past. He was a promising football player when he was 10. I don't think that helps us at all. So victim 1 was protected by a St. Ouen mayor, and this guy's from St. Ouen, right? I'm not quite sure what protected means. I think maybe was protected from legal trouble, because victim 1 was a molester who was never arrested. And again, Salim defended molested kids. The first victim was a molester. So if Salim was the serial killer, maybe because the victim 1 got away, Salim's like, okay, I have to take the law into my own hands. And then the message left on crime scene 1 was literally justice. Again, it's a little on the nose. But again, we have no solid evidence that Salim did any of that. It's just that if he did, then maybe that would make sense. Victim 1 apparently was a great football coach, which again, Salim was a promising football player. So maybe if Salim knew the coach when Salim was a kid, maybe there's a connection there. I actually never found out if Salim's coach was the same coach as victim 1. I never found that out, so I actually have no idea. So it's very circumstantial. It's loose. I don't like it. I don't think it's enough to go by. I've met Salim. I think he's too wrapped up in law right now to really be going out and murdering people. I just don't think so. Claudia. I didn't get to what in Inkening. I'm going to just watch that and come back. Okay, you do you. Claudia is a medical examiner in Paris. She escaped from Argentina when she was young, and she lost her parents to the Argentinian junta, the process. It's like a gang or something. Again, she's connected to the fact that the killers had wrinkles on their hands. She's connected to that because I guess she's older. I actually don't know why I know she's older. I don't. I have no information on that, but the game seems to think that I know that. I don't. The thing is, the reason we have this killer had wrinkles on their hands is because we had like a memory of seeing the killer, like the person who shot us. We thought we remembered seeing their hands, but we kept saying he. We had like a memory. We had like a flashback, but we kept saying he over and over again. Claudia is not a he. So I know that's connected, but I kind of think it's not. But the victim number 3 was known to have tortured prisoners of the junta, prisoners of the junta specifically. The message left on crime scene 3 was linked to the process because the message was "time is up," which is apparently something that happens in the junta. It's a part of the process. And the victim number 3 was in fact a colonel of the junta of the process. And of course, we know the serial killer left their country. They're not originally from France. And Claudia, like we said, is from Argentina. So the thing is, Claudia has a huge heaping amount of motive for victim number 3, but not for 1 and 2. That's the thing. Claudia was the first person I suspected. Back on night 1, when we didn't have most of this evidence. She was the one I was leaning toward the most after night 1. The thing is, we haven't gotten any more evidence on her this entire time. No more. Only for victim 3. It makes sense for victim 3, but not for 1 and 2. She's not connected to those other 2 in any way, shape, or form. So, while she has huge motive for 3, I don't think it's her. So not her, not Salim, not Hervé. I think it's got to be Paul. You pick the phone back up and explain your choice to Lieutenant Bousset. It's got to be Paul. It's got to be. Why? How? The evidence? Your sources? She listens without saying a word. Man, I wish we got that evidence from Veronique. You stop talking and catch your breath. Okay. I'll buy it. Seems like a solid choice. I can fish around a bit to vet your information. She pauses. You can almost hear her nodding. I'll call you tonight. Try to get some sleep. She pauses. No way she's going to hang up on such a positive note. No, she's probably going to. It might be your last night of freedom. She snickers and hangs up. You put the phone down. You might as well be standing in the ice-cold emptiness of outer space. You decide to go to bed, to sleep. Best way to kill time. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down on the open sofa bed. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Man, I wish we had discovered Veronique sooner. Veronica, Veronique, whatever her name was. I wish we'd discovered her a day sooner. You open one eye, or just even hours sooner. You had a hard night, restless. You get the impression you aged 5 years in a matter of hours. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 7. Oh my god, do we still have more to do? Okay, I was gonna say, do we still have more to do? What's the point? You've barely gotten downstairs when you catch sign of Bousette. She's leaning up against the door of your cab, eyes wide open, forehead creased. Get in. You obey. It's too early to react. She settles into the back seat, flashes a smile. Good news. You're right. Or at least the DA thinks your evidence is sufficient. No emotion in her voice. She's giving you the facts, nothing more. Oh. We're going to bring Fragonard in tonight. That's his last name. She nods, her expression clouds over. I have trouble. She freezes. Fragonard is a mentor, mine, and half the squad's. You can't understand. He's an institution. She stops, clears her throat. I need your help, one last time. Later on tonight, we're going to get Fragonard to leave home and find a way to get him into your taxi. No! No! She pulls some kind of pen out of her pocket that she puts in the little cubby just above the car stereo. This is a bug. Oh no, you need a confession? What am I supposed to do? I held up my end of the deal. Say nothing more. She's not gonna give me a choice. What am I supposed to do? No more than the usual. A smile passes quickly over her face. I've seen you and heard you enough to know that you have a trick, a gift for getting people to talk. I need someone I can trust to get close to Fragonard without making him suspicious. He's a cop. He knows how we work. No one's ever sent a taxi driver to make an arrest. He won't put up a fight. I hope he'll open up to you, that he'll confess before things fall apart. Not too far from the hospital where he goes for his treatments, there's an alleyway under the construction. There won't be any civilians, just us and him. She sighs. 2 teens walk by the cab, and the intense smell of weed fills the cab. Bousette doesn't budge. I know you can do it. If you stick to the plan, nothing can go wrong. What if there's a problem? If you stick to the plan, there won't be any problems. She lays her hand on the door handle. You pick the suspect up, drive to the meeting point, and you're free. Easy as pie. She gets out of the cab, slams the door, and walks quickly away. Oh, shit, man. This is it. You hit the dashboard, intense pain spreads through your hand. You grab the keys and the ignition and turn. The motor comes on. Your night is about to begin. Your last night. So we do have one more night, but this is just not the way I thought it was gonna go. Okay. Well, I don't have any more contact eyeballs to look at. I don't remember who you are. We could go pick... I'm gonna pick up Hervey for the last time. Before we die. Before we get murdered somehow. God, can you imagine if it's Hervé and this is the chance he's going to murder us? He's got to go 3 kilometers, 11 euro fare. He's not going to pay it. I need a ride, cabbie. All right, let's get you a ride. All right, Hervey. The door opens. It's Hervey. He greets you with his bizarre verbal tick as usual. Getting name cold out now. Ow! Hi, Hervey. You start the engine. Hervey seems pretty happy with himself today. In the rearview mirror, you watch him run his tongue over his lips, as if mentally preparing for a good meal. He catches your eye and smiles. Sorry, I'm a bit out of it today. So I see. It's just I had a bad week, you know, a really bad week. And yesterday. He hesitates, as if he can't believe what he's about to say, like it's too good to be true. The lines around the corners of his eyes that show his real age crinkle slightly. Oh God, is he actually secretly old? Hervey gives a little laugh. Serious, man. I don't believe in God, you know? I don't believe in all that bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. Some guy with a beard up in the sky. I never got it. What people saw in him. Anyhow, God, none of us believe in him on the street. His eyes crinkle up at the corners again. I mean, we believe when the soup kitchen goes to the church. Yeah, sure, we believe in him then. He flashes his teeth and lets out a harsh, raspy laugh. A pause. So, yesterday? Yesterday? He's observing you. You said something happened yesterday. His eyes light up all of a sudden. Oh yeah, yesterday. He's talking faster now, an incessant flow. Yeah, I was starving, man. It was pretty bad. Toby and I had gone through all the garbage bins in the neighborhood. Toby's, he's this German guy. He says he prefers France, that we're more generous here. So I was starving. Hervey's eyes tear up. His voice drops off. A faraway look comes over him. A lengthy pause. Are you okay, Hervey? He snaps out of it. Yeah, like I was saying that, yeah, I was starving. I was hanging out near the supermarket on Rue Ramusat. Fancy neighborhood, but not too fancy, no cops. He gives you a wink. That's always a plus. And then there was like this guy I sometimes see around, a young guy, like just a kid. He comes out of the supermarket with his groceries, and before I even say a word, he hands me a can of Coussoulet. A can of casserole. I have no idea what that is. As big as a beach ball. Hervey's face lights up. I didn't even know they made them that big. Hervey busts out laughing, and his eye wanders back to the street. Was it good? Delicious. He closes his eyes, raises his hands, and waggles his fingers. I love it when the cassoulet sausage is all mushy and it melts in your mouth. Don't even need to warm it up. A smile spreads over his face. Meat mash. He opens his eyes. Something out of the window catches his eye. Hervey suddenly pats you on the shoulder. Hold on, wait, I'm gonna get out here if you don't mind. You park the cab as soon as you see an empty space. Thanks, man. He's looking out the window. Yeah, I think that's him. Ooh. Nothing. Is it Toby? Without another word, he opens the door and gets out. This time, I'm gonna get him. A moment later, he vanishes into a dark alley. Sit there a minute. Your eye scans the dark, narrow street, but you can't make anything out. Then something moves in the distance, a silhouette, probably Hervey, now at a run. The form darts under a street lamp. It is Hervey, holding something in his hand. He immediately vanishes from sight. You sit there a minute, and then you switch on the ignition and pull out of the parking space. Weird. I still don't think it's Hervey. Clearly that was meant, like that was intended to make us feel like Hervey's chasing someone down with a gun. But I still don't think it is him. I still don't think, oh, it's him. It's the guy, it's Paul. We're finally gonna meet him. This is finally it. Paul Marie Fragnard. Hôpital St. Louis, please. Distance 5 kilometers, 18 euro. I can't refuse. Could you imagine? I refuse. Your next passenger is your suspect, the retired policeman. Judging by his looks, you could have easily guessed. Hôpital St. Louis, please. You nod your head and start the engine. Your passenger seems to have his mind elsewhere, not entirely awake, stubble on his chin. You scan his skin, his movements, his attitude, It's cold as shit this morning. His voice makes you jump. You nod. You have more people or not as many when it's cold out like this. Folks tend to stay home when it's too cold. There might be more of them, but they make shorter trips. Makes sense. Dead silence. Gotta talk about something. Talk about the weather. It's worse in the summertime though. People don't take cabs as much, but when they do, they go further. Obviously. You drive in silence for a second. The road goes by. You don't want to look in your side mirrors too often. You haven't seen a trace of the cops yet. Bousset told you not to worry, but you know, it's funny. Just this morning I was thinking about an old case. One of my first cases, actually. It was just after the Mazarin case. You know who Mazarin is, don't you? Or am I really that old? You sense it's the right time to get him to talk. Public enemy number 1. Sure. Exactly. Public enemy number 1. I joined the force a few months after his death and everybody was still talking about it. Public opinion was very divided. Did the cops murder Mesrine, or was it self-defense? I know the answer. They shot him down like a dog. He looks straight at you. You can see the hint of an underground fire roaring deep in his eyes. No, I most certainly do not want to die like a dog, understood? He catches his breath and is clearly shaken. He ever so slowly reaches into his pocket and pulls out his weapon. Oh no, achievement unlocked. Le Judge. Oh god. Where did Bousset ask you to take me? Oh no! Oh no! Excuse me? Don't take me for a fool. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, so he knows. Okay. He's not gonna shoot us while we're driving. I'm gonna keep lying. I swear I have no idea what you're talking about. A gun appears. Shame. I thought I might just get a chance at some honesty in this cold world just once, just to see what it feels like. I dedicated my whole life to the justice system, to get into the truth. At least that's what I tell myself and what I say to new recruits. But I'm tired of all the games, all the sucking lies, where they ordered you to take me. I don't know what the move is here. So he already knows, I think. The question becomes, if he knew, why did he even get in the cab? Just to get to us? Just to get to us? Why did he even get in the cab? They didn't order anything. Yeah, right. His voice sounds tired, his hand is shaking. You can't take your eyes off his weapon. Answer the question, where? Oh my god. He shakes his head, saddened by your answer. I can't quite figure out if you were avoiding me, but I know Bousset put you up on the case and gave you a copy of the file. We don't know each other too well, eh? So I'm going to give you one last chance to tell me the truth. Bousset. You can see his finger on the trigger. It's shaking ever so slightly. How much does she know? I don't know. The stench of gunpowder fills the cab. Your vision is blurred for a while. You can't feel your legs anymore, and a shock of heat is streaming down your spine. You shoot me. The taxi slows and ends up running into a car parked. I think he shot us. Car parked along the side of the road. The impact sets its alarm off. Its lights shower the street with red and yellow. I'm sorry. Sorry it turned out like this. You deserve better, you know? You're so focused on helping others that you forget to take care of yourself. You want to speak, but no sound comes out. I read your file, you know. What you did for your sister-in-law? Taking 7 years in jail for her? Oh, that's why we went to prison. We were protecting our sister. So we were actually a decent person. Okay, good. He nods his head. You deserve better. Your neck muscles give out and your head collapses. Bits of the outside world make it in, maybe not in the right order. The door closing, the back seat empty, a shape coming over to the cab, screaming, shouting, and just like that, darkness. We may have died. I think we killed ourselves. The thing is, like, if we told him where we were going, there was no guarantee he wasn't going to shoot us anyway. That's the thing. There was no guarantee that if we told him anything at all, that he was going to let us live. So it's kind of like, well, do I let it all out? And then he knows how to escape. He knows what to avoid. He knows what's coming, which gives the police the least possible chance to catch him. And he still shoots us, possibly. Or do we lie so that he knows nothing and we get shot at? I mean, like, you know what I mean? At least this way, maybe. Oh, no. We'll never know. We died. We died. Cheers. We died. We died. We died. That's it. I really wondered if, because someone came over screaming, so I really wondered if we were gonna get saved in the hospital again. We died. Here's the thing, though. I did save my game. We can load up the game. We can go back and replay it. If I click continue, where will it send me? Night 6, the judge. I think it auto-save. Let's continue. Let's try to see. Let's see if we can do it differently. Let's see if screw it. Let's see if we can do it differently. I'm curious to see how it goes. So a bus goes by with a shake. You glance in your bed. Time to get to work. This is night 6, so I think there's nothing new to see. So we're gonna end our night. And then Busette calls. Yes, we're gonna pick it up. Yes, yes, yes. We'll get back to where we were. We'll see if we can. We'll see if we can change the outcome a little bit. I'm very curious. I'm gonna just answer with Busette. I'm gonna just answer the same stuff we answered before, with just the same stuff. Yeah, she threatens us a little bit more, like, okay, you better pick the right guy. We do. It's Paul. It has to be Paul. There's no way it's not Paul, obviously. Not only is the evidence stacked against him, he literally pulled a gun on us. It would be interesting to find out if we choose the wrong person, if they actually all end up being the murderer for the story. I doubt it, though. I'm sure we can get this wrong. But we got it right. We got the person right. Let's just see if we can survive. Let's see if we can save ourselves. See if we can not die. I still think even if we tell him the truth about stuff, there could be a series of, like, half-truths, half-lies. There could be a way to get him to go for long enough that's kind of somewhere in the middle. I think this run, I think this ending, we might try to go with telling him the straight truth and see what that does for us. I doubt anything good. I doubt very much anything good's gonna come of it. All right, yeah. Blah blah blah. Oh my God, boy, can you talk? Yeah. Again, I'm trying to answer the same stuff I did before with Busette. What if there's a problem? She's like, there won't be, which is funny because our last run we died. There was absolutely a problem. Now, last time we went to Hervey. This time I want to run over to you. I'm just out of sheer morbid curiosity. Let's run over to you for my last fare before the judge and see what happens. I'm just curious. Because Hervey ends up seeing somebody and running off as if he's going to shoot somebody. I don't think he's going to. We have no idea. But you, who even are you? I don't remember. I've seen your face. You're Angelique. Oh, you're the I keep forgetting who you are every time I see your picture. You're the Tourette's lady. 51 euro, jeebus. That's a huge... We can make some money before we die. We immediately recognize her, the pricey perfume lady, fur around her neck. Her emotional trauma that causes her Tourette's. Oh, it's you again. You know, urethral fart. I was thinking about the last time we met. You listen to me. I don't have to... We've read this before. Cross paths with people who listen to me and don't make fun. I really appreciated it. She flashes a sweet, charming smile. Conchise! She gently shrugs her shoulders. Drive towards 16th arrondissement, please. She purses her lips and manages to stifle the insult, ready to escape. He stirred the car, praying that this time around she does... I feel like we've read this before. Is this a duplicate? He didn't even take me home. No, that's new. She's talking to herself and her voice is steeped in sorrow. I wasn't asking for much. A little tenderness. Oh, my game froze. Nope, we're good. Rotten phallus. He's my spouse after all. My husband, married for 25 years. Ex-husband. 25 years. Everything all right? She lifts her head abruptly. Beg your pardon? She lowers her eyes. I was talking to myself. Lukewarm shit. Please forgive me. Is everything all right? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. He leaves me. He ignores me. Asshole. He sends me a bouquet of roses for my birthday and invites me to dinner, then leaves as soon as the bill is paid. She freezes. She stays that way for a few seconds without moving or breathing. You okay? She suddenly heaves a deep, sorrowful sigh. Not from the heart, but from her gut, her bowels. You jerk off! You're young. You raise your gaze to look at your passenger. Perhaps you don't realize what it does to you. Actually, no one seems to understand. She is shaking. Shit! It's all ending. Everything is broken. It's all a waste. She stares at you. You can see the shame in her face. Her cheeks turn crimson. Her eyes fill with tears. Please forgive me. I ask you, bitch, to please forgive me. Miss. She's got Tourette's. Look understanding, get angry, say nothing. Don't worry about it. They're only words, ma'am. You pause. I know you don't mean anything by them. Your passenger's voice seems even more distant than before. What if I actually did mean what I was saying? I don't know what's going on in my mind anymore. At first I thought it was dementia, that I was becoming senile. She catches her breath. As for you, you approach your destination. I just left dinner with my husband. He was distant and cold, even though he was the one who insisted we see each other. He even chose the restaurant, La Pierre, a very, very nice place. She shakes her head. I still don't really know what he wanted. He ate almost nothing, didn't drink a drop of wine. It was dismal. Then he got up and left me there alone, like a sucking idiot. She smiles. A sucking idiot. That's what I am. One hell of a sucking idiot. She sighs with relief. Excuse me, but I think I think that did me some good. Your wide eyes make her laugh. Sorry, I got carried away. It was... You look for the right term. Oh, it was surprising, odd, unpleasant. Surprising. She giggles. It was the first and the last time crossed my heart. Silence. The last time. You park the taxi in front of her place. Your passenger stares intently at her building for a few seconds like it looks ready to step off its foundation and run down the street. I think it's past. I feel so much better. I feel relieved. Like... She smiles. Like a dick sucker. Her face flushes. She all but throws her fare in your face. In seconds, she slams the door and runs toward the lobby of her building. Once she's inside, you drive away. Weird. Weird. What a weird end. But we made a ton of money on that. We don't need it anymore because we're about to die. But I feel kind of okay about that because I feel like we are helping her through her stuff a little bit, whereas Hervey is just a mess. Hervey's just a mess. I don't know what he's up to ever. All right, Paul. This is the real moment we've all waited for. All right, the policeman, judging by his looks, you could have easily guessed. Hôpital St. Louis Place. You nod your head and start the engine. Your passenger seems to have his mind elsewhere, not entirely awake, stubble on his chin. You scan his skin, his movements, his attitude, it's cold as shit this morning. His voice makes you jump, you nod. You have more people or not as many when it's cold out like this? Folks tend to stay home when it's too cold. There might be more of them, but they make shorter trips. Makes sense? Dead silence. We'll say nothing this time. You drive in silence for a second, the road goes by. You don't want to look in your side mirrors too often, you haven't seen a trace of the cops yet. Bousset told you not to worry, but it's funny. You know, it's funny. Just this morning I was thinking about an old case, one of my first cases actually. It was just after the Mesrine case. You know who Mesrine is, don't you? Or am I really that old? You sense it's the right time to get him to talk. If we can, I want him to... Nope, never heard of him. Jacques Mesrine, breaking and entering, kidnapping, armed robbery. He killed 2 cops in Canada, tortured a journalist, a far-right one, but still. Then in 1979, after being on the run for a year and a half, the cops catch him and kill him at Port de Clignancourt. He raises a hand. Now, the cops say it was in self-defense, but I know for a fact they shot him down like a dog. He looks straight at you. You can see the hint of an underground fire roaring deep in his eyes. Now, I most certainly do not want to die like a dog, understood? He catches his breath and is clearly shaken. He ever so slowly reaches into his pocket and pulls out his weapon. Where did Bousset ask you to take me? The thing is, we went with this route before. We did this route before. We did the excuse me before. We still don't actually have his confession yet. Let's go with this one. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't take me for a fool. Alright, so it just brought us back to here. I think that was the same as the excuse me. We'll tell the truth. A warehouse, some old garage. They're waiting for us there. An ambush. I'm no Mesrine, you know. I'm not going to pull a grenade out from under the back seat here. He cuts off with a groan. When he starts speaking again, his voice is chilling. Bousset. You can see his finger on the trigger. It's shaking ever so slightly. How much does she know? She has evidence. You hear a long sigh coming from the back seat. A few seconds go by. You try to concentrate on driving despite your sweaty hands and dripping brow. What if we find out that it actually isn't him and it's actually been Bousset the entire time? And she needed us to find evidence on somebody so we could pin it on someone who isn't Bousset? Could be. What if he's been on her case? I don't know. You hear a long sigh come from the back seat. A few seconds go by, and you try to concentrate on driving, despite your sweaty hands and dripping brow. It wouldn't make sense, though, why Bousset put the bug in the car if she was the one who did it. It's getting kind of conspiratorial, isn't it? Okay, why hasn't she tried to arrest me then? You shrug. Dunno, she told me it would be easier this way. I think she hopes you'll turn yourself in without a fight. He looks away. You know, Bousset is really one of a kind, but she doesn't fit into today's world. Neither do I, for that matter. The weapon he's holding is shaking slightly, wavering. You suddenly notice he's speaking to you in a more familiar tone. There's the confession. That's why I killed them. There's the confession. That's what we actually needed recorded, though. Bastards, all of them. Rapists, murderers, and liars who escaped prosecution. Now, Bousset would like to do the same thing I did. Slam a bullet into the head of the first murderer she could get her hands on. But she can't. You just can't do that anymore. A long, painful, heavy sigh. In any case, now there's only one truth left. No more confrontation, no debate. I need for justice to be served. They were guilty and I killed them. I can write that down if you want. It's no secret. That's actually what I needed. Which we found out before we died last time that we're innocent. We took the blame for something that we didn't do. So I don't know if he will kill us. He had to out of necessity last time, but I don't know. Will he do it this time? I knew I'd be caught sooner or later, either by Bousset or by... His sentence hangs in the air. I'm sick. Got cancer. All over. They hope some new drug might cure me. But what's the point, honestly? Oh God, he's gonna shoot himself. We didn't lie to him, so he's not gonna get angry at us. So he's gonna feel like he can't kill us. Like his own moral obligation is gonna be that he can't kill us. He's gonna blast himself, isn't he? Is that what's gonna happen? He abruptly accelerates his speaking pace. I don't want to go to jail. A cop can't go to jail. I don't want to see my face on the cover of magazines and newspapers. But I don't want to deny Bousset the pleasure of catching me, her and her team. So here's what we're going to do. There's a place in Montmartre, a place I really love. It's my first memory of Paris. I must have been 6 or 7. My mother had come all the way from Martinique. She thought she could convince my father to... Yeah, anyway, there's no point in telling that story. I want to hear it. He snickers. And buy yourself some time? No. There's a bench up there, not far from Sacré-Cœur. This bench has 2 clear advantages. First, it faces the city of Paris, southern facing. All the monuments are there, staring back in splendor. He starts to speak with confidence. I especially like it when all the buildings poke out above the cloud of pollution. Notre Dame Square Towers, Pompidou and its colored pipes, the Eiffel Tower. He shakes his head and his voice sounds deep and serious again. The second advantage to sitting on this bench is that you turn your back to Sacré-Cœur, an ugly building. They only built it to rub the church the right way. He looks away and remains silent for a while. His hands shake a little. I want to see Paris one last time. It's a little too early to watch the sun rise, but at least there'll be people around. Lovers, life. I just want to go and sit on the bench. Look out at Paris, alone, for 5 minutes. And then you can go to the meeting point so Bousset can pick me up. What do you say? Okay. You turn around. You'll see. The view is incredible. He's not gonna shoot us at the bench because there's people around. Neither of you say a word for several minutes. You drive in silence. And then, as you're beginning to climb up the top of Montmartre, the cop lowers his weapon. I want to apologize. I'm sorry I hurt you the night of the attack. Everything could have turned out so differently. You're nothing like the guy I took down, you know? He was a kid at the time, but there was something in his eyes, something bad, something evil. His eyes sparkle for a bit, tears perhaps. Seconds later, you park a few meters away from Sacré-Cœur. The bench is right there. The bench is right there. I just need 5 minutes. 5 minutes and we'll go. Got it? You nod. Don't. I feel like the don't do it is the whole. He's not gonna come with us to go get caught. He's gonna sit on the bench and shoot himself. I'm gonna do that one. He lays his hand on the door handle. He gives you a genuine smile. Do what? Gonna kill yourself, aren't you? He pauses. To be perfectly honest, I don't really know yet. The cop suddenly seems older than he really is. His voice croaks slightly as he says to you, "Thanks, friend." He gets out of the cab. You watch the old cop. He takes a few steps toward the bench. He walks around it like he wants to look at it from every angle. He doesn't so much as glance at Sacré-Cœur and its dome, lit up with powerful spotlights. A few passers-by, chilled to the bone, are wandering about nonchalantly on the square in front. The cop finally sits on the bench. He stays there a long minute, contemplating Paris. Strings of light weave around traffic circles and intersections, making a magnificent canvas. There's a sudden movement. In a matter of seconds, he pulls the gun out of his pocket and up to his chin. A shot rings out. Yeah, he did it. I wonder if we offered to come with him. If we offered to come with him, I wonder if he would have accepted. Thanks, friend. Those were his last words. Are you fucking kidding me? Nope. Lieutenant Bousset watches you, her jaws clenched, locked more like. What else did he say? He confessed to his crimes. The wire you put in the cab must have caught it all. You have the recording. Bousset stares at you for a second before looking away. Shit, this is not how it was supposed to end. You're not clear on whether she's angry or sad. He talked about you. About me? What did he say? It's all in the recording. He said you were like him. Of course, that guy was my mentor. A father figure, actually. He taught me everything I know. That's why I slipped you his file. I couldn't investigate him. No one on the team wanted to either. It was unthinkable, unfeasible. Suck. A semblance of a smile spreads across her face, awkward, strained perhaps. It makes your blood curdle. You're free to go now. Don't leave the country, though. We might have some questions for you at some point. She opens the door. Icy air seeps in. You shiver. You really came through, you know? I didn't think you'd do so well. Her voice breaks up a bit with her last words. Who knew? She gets out of the cab and slams the door behind her. A blunt metallic noise. Unidentifiable vibrations. The car quakes and shakes like a boat. A minute goes by before you can move again. You slowly come back to your senses. Stay a little longer. You sit there for a moment, contemplating the scene in front of you. Police squads are moving about. Tape keeping the onlookers away, spotlights flooding the judge's lifeless body with white light. Hard to believe it's all over. You need to get away for a while, drive without thinking, distance yourself. A cop on the roadside waves his flashlight, motioning for you to leave. You have no reason to be there anymore. You've become a stranger again. Key in the ignition, handbrake off, foot on the accelerator. You leave Sacré-Cœur behind. Oh, and we actually got credits this time. Okay. Unless I accidentally skipped it last time, I didn't even know. That's a better ending for us. I don't know that there is a way to prevent Paul from shooting himself. The thing is that what I wonder is whether or not if I offered to come with him and sit at the bench with him, what he would have done. Weirdly enough, I wonder if we would offer to sit on the bench with him. If we sat with him on the bench, if somehow he would still end up shooting himself, and then like the DA would still pin the murder on us. Because, you know, there'd be like blood and stuff on me, so like maybe the DA would try to pin the murder on him. So this is me being a little conspiratorial, because this is a retired cop. So if it gets out that this retired cop was a serial killer, that could look bad on the police force. So what if they lose the recording, right? And then they pin all the murders on me instead, because I'm sitting there, gun not next to the police officer, blood on my coat or whatever. They forge the evidence a little bit. No one will defend me, and I basically go to prison for it. I wonder if that, because it's like, do I sit with Paul and he doesn't shoot himself and he gets arrested? Or do I just get pinned for the murder when he does end up killing himself anyway? Because as it stands now, with the recording, the evidence I found, and the fact that I've got nothing to tie myself to this guy, the sun is about to come up. Ooh. You drove all night with your window open and the radio tuned to that phantom frequency. The electric static kept you awake. You're so tired your chest is tight and your eyes are heavy, but you can't stop. Not now. You're going to run out of gas soon. The light went on about 20 kilometers back. You're somewhere in Normandy. You pull over onto the shoulder and get out. There's almost no traffic. You step over the guardrail as your eyes adjust to the colorful break of dawn. The sun will soon rise over the horizon. What am I doing? You get your phone out and dial a number. Oh, it doesn't ring. Direct to voicemail. A voice asks you to leave a message after the beep. Hey, I wanted to. You catch your breath. When Aide told me she'd held onto your phone just to hear the sound of your voice, I thought it was stupid. But now, the sun is slowly rising and its colors are flooding the landscape. Bare underbrush, a tiny village lost in fog off in the distance, a hilltop sparkling with dew. The view seems alien to you. I wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to redeem myself. Thanks. That word disgusts you, but it's too late. Thanks to you, I did something important. I mean, I think. Who knows? Silence. Your head is spinning. You haven't spoken to your brother in years. What? Well, in a manner of speaking, you grin. I have no idea what's going on. Your kids are good? They grew up so fast. Aide shows me pictures sometimes, but I never go inside the house. You'll be too complicated for everyone, but they're doing well. They look a lot like Dad, at least I think. You pause. A truck flies by just meters from you. I thought when it was all over, I thought I'd be able to get some decent sleep. Close my eyes and sleep. Really sleep, finally. But sleeping is just a break. It doesn't put an end to it. It all starts up again as soon as a voice cuts you off. You have reached the maximum time limit. Please. You hang up. Your phone feels heavy in your hand. What should you do now? There's a broken fence in front of you, leading to a small footpath into the woods. Behind you is the highway leading to the sea. Get back in the car. You sigh and retrace your steps. On the other side of the guardrail, you find your overheated cab. The next gas station can't be much further. You slowly turn the key in the ignition. There's got to be something for you out there. I have no idea what any of that was about. That's so weird. Now there are... Yeah, if I continue, I'll go back to the night game. If we do new game, there are multiple... hang on. I think it'll show me here in a sec. Yeah, there are other investigations we can do. I don't know if it's with the same taxi driver, the same character or not. We did the judge. There's the Angel of Death. Random victims, unknown motive, weird case, slightly more difficult than the others. The Sandman. The victims may feel random at first, but there's a connection, yet the motives might be hard to find. Dark and twisted case. Surprise investigation. The game will randomly pick an unsolved investigation. Or random investigation. All the game will pick an investigation, no matter if solved or unsolved. So yeah, these are just random. So like this will choose between these two. So I have 2 more cases. I don't know if it will be with the same character or not if we did it. You guys will have to let me know if you want me to play the Angel of Death or the Sandman. This might be a game that we come back to and play the Angel of Death or the Sandman. I thoroughly enjoyed the judge. I feel like the case was pretty easy. Because we pretty much had it pinned on on Paul since like night 4 or something like that. We had it pinned on him pretty quick, actually, all things considered. So you have to let me know if we should play the Angel of Death or the Sandman. I'll probably put this game away for the time being and come back to it much later, if we want to come back to it and do that. So, because these are investigations, they're pretty cool. I enjoyed this, but that's going to do it for this stream. I think that's a good stopping point. If I do say so myself, we'll be playing something tomorrow. Excuse me. I don't know what yet. I don't know what we'll be playing. My coffee's giving me the gas. I don't know what we'll be playing tomorrow. We'll figure that out tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's everything. Very soon, I think I'm going to try to get it set up so the uploads will start in April. We'll be releasing all of my everything that I've been streaming to Twitch since 2020. My morning stuff or whatever is going to be going to the Twitch Archive, which is linked down below, where you can look up old videos, old streams. Obviously, they're available here on Twitch right now, but eventually they'll be deleted from Twitch because they only hold on to it for a month or 2 or whatever, for a limited time, and eventually they go away. They'll all be on the Twitch Archive on YouTube. So if you want to revisit any streams that we've done up to this point, that is where you can go to do that. So check out the Twitch Archive. Obviously, there's a bunch of links down below you can check out. But that's going to do it for this one. I'm going to put it away. I'm going to put this away. We'll come back to it eventually. Probably. We'll see. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed that stream, please do all the things. But whatever you guys do, and thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, wash your hands. Bye.